We've got to stand for our freedom and our Constitution and our democracy. And at a time when Congress, particularly Republicans, do not have a backbone, it's important that Democrats put some steel in their backbone and fight back. I believe that this president is incompetent. I believe that this president is ill-equipped to serve in the highest office of this land. And I believe that he is an embarrassment to all that we stand for. He should be charged with obstructing justice. I believe that the President of these United States can be indicted for criminal offenses. And we would join with law enforcement and other attorneys general across this nation in removing this president from office.
Hey there, guys. Welcome to the channel. So there is some really big news coming out of New York City and Donald Trump's fraud trial, which is actually, it's a civil fraud trial brought against the Trump organization, not Trump himself. To hear the media talk, to hear our disingenuous liberal friends talk, the man is on trial for his life. Not the case. But anyway, he is on trial. It's a case brought by Leticia James. And right now her office is getting completely freaking crushed over this deal. But I'll explain everything in just a second. Thank you so much to everyone that's been subscribing, leaving such great comments. Really appreciate the support. If you haven't already, help us to continue to grow and like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share. Really means a lot, and it does help us out a lot. So I'm going to start this off by saying that probably none of us are experts in New York civil law. But to those of us that do know a little bit about the law, and even really just to the casual observer, it does appear like this case brought by Leticia James, brought before a judge who is at the very least has the appearance of bias. And we believe this based on things that we've seen the judge do, based on things we've heard the judge say, even things his wife is reported to have said, and even the potentially illegal contributions, political contributions from the judge's staff. You know, just about every common sense thinking individual on the planet saw this coming. But the Trump team is actually finally calling them out and demanding a mistrial.
This just in, Donald Trump is now officially asking for a mistrial in his civil fraud case in New York. Trump's lawyers are basing this request on what they argue are biased comments they believe that Judge Eng Gorin made during the trial. The judge has already signaled, though, that a motion like this isn't likely to go far. CNN's Kara Scannell outside the courthouse for us in New York. Kara, what more you learn about this?
Yeah, so Trump's team just filed this motion. They already said that they were going to bring it, but now it has officially been filed asking for a mistrial in this case. They say that the judge has been biased against them from some of the rulings he's made. They've complained a lot about him cutting them off from some of the comments he has made during the trial itself, now in its 7th week, and also based on his relationship with his principal law clerk. She sits up on the bench next to him. They pass notes between each other during the trial, and he often consults with her. That is something that they've really taken an issue with, saying that there is also bias here because they say the law clerk is biased. Now, she is the reason why the judge imposed the gag order in the case against Trump, and his lawyers asking them not to comment about her and specifically these communications. So the judge has already signaled that he is not likely to grant this motion. He has said that he has an unfettered right to communicate with his law clerk, who he relies on. And so he has suggested that this is not going to go anywhere. But now it is officially filed. And in the filing, Trump's team says that the evidence of apparent and actual bias is tangible and overwhelming. They say that it has tainted the proceedings. So the Attorney General's office has responded to this motion, saying that Trump is trying to distract from his fraud by bringing this. Again, we expect the judge will not grant this motion. Trump's team has already asked for a directed verdict in their favor, alleging that the Attorney General's office has not proved their case on the remaining 6 claims after the judge has already ruled in favor of the Attorney General that there is persistent and repeated fraud in these financial statements. The judge has not yet ruled on that either. Kate?
Still, as Trump team continues to make their case in court, and this continues. Great to see you, Kara. Thank you so much. Sarah?
All right.
Yeah, so you guys see that. So obviously it is highly unlikely that the judge, or really any judge, is going to declare a mistrial based on their own actions, or even probably the actions of their staff. Very unlikely. That's not going to happen. And you know this, I know this, the prosecution knows this, Trump's teams, they know this, right? We all know this. But here's what they're doing. They're laying the groundwork for an appeal that will undoubtedly happen. And this is exactly, honestly, why we have appellate courts, for cases just like this. And just look at, the small stuff, like the slanderous things, that the judge and the judge's wife have said about Trump. Forget about all the problematic rulings. Forget about, the allegedly illegal contributions by his staff. Forget about even the fact that the attorney general literally made doing this a campaign promise. Forget about all that. The valuations, the property valuations that the court has used alone, they used faulty valuations to allege that there's fraud. That's enough for an appellate court to toss it, probably without even barely looking at it. That's where this is going. And that's going to be a serious, serious issue. When you add all the serious problems of mathematics to all the ancillary perceived biases, this is exactly why we have appellate courts. If an appellate court upheld whatever comes out of this trial, that would probably be an even greater miscarriage to the legal process and legal system than this trial itself even happening. But anyway, I thought you guys deserved to see that. That's just my take. Let me know your take in the comments. If you haven't already, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. We'll see you in the next one.